What's up guys, it's Drac, and I don't know if this is necessarily a vintage review or if it's just an older blaster review, but this is an old school, and you can barely see the logo here, Busby blaster from 2008. This is the Mega Missile. And I never made a video about this because frankly I didn't get into air blasters until after this was already off the shelf, but I found it thrifting recently. I thought it would be fun to talk about. Not only because it came with 2 glow missiles, which is crazy, but also because it's got a lot of pop. Now there are a lot of things about it that are bad. First off, this grip is really a 3-finger grip. The trigger is like old school terrible Busby, but it's actuating some sort of a check valve in here, which will release the pressure from what's got to be the tiniest stroke air tank ever. That's less than an inch, I think, maybe an inch of draw, but you can hear that we are pressurizing it. This thing is functional. I wouldn't have bought it if I wasn't getting some sort of air delivery out of it in the Goodwill, but really trying to get it all the way up to its maximum capacity, trying to hit that OPRV, and we can finally hear it. We've kicked the OPRV, which is excellent. Now, the old school glow missiles came with a lot of different things. I want to say that they came with berserkers. Maybe berserkers came with something else. It's hard to remember. But these are essentially the precursor, the Busby version of demolisher missiles. They actually have the same ID for their inner tube, which means that they are cross-compatible, which is really, really cool. But the glow missiles were white and blue. They had 4 fins instead of the 3. They're actually, I think, personally, more durable than the demolisher missiles, even if they don't fly necessarily as well. But what made them really cool is there's a button all the way inside that you can press. Now, it was designed to be pressed when the thing was firing or when it was slid onto the thing. But if you have long enough fingers, long and thin enough, my pinky is just long enough to reach it, you can see that this guy is glowing. I think they glowed red inside. Now, obviously, we're outside during the daytime, but the glow missiles were really cool. They did 2 things. They were kind of like FireTech arrows before FireTech arrows existed, but that's a lot of talking about the Mega Missile. Let's see how well it fires. So this is a relatively flat shot, and that was not excellent performance. So let's try an angled shot next with the glow missile, and then we'll do one with the demolisher. But that was like a 15, 17 foot shot. That's just not impressive. Now, this is a huge pain to pump up, just like an atrocious blaster in terms of the volume that you're moving. So let's try a 45-degree shot, and huzzah, about a 20-foot shot that time. Now, sadly, this was not designed for demolisher missiles, so we actually have to compress 2 fins no matter how we do it, but we do get complete seating. Now, one reason this doesn't perform super duper well is the air delivery is out here. It's here and here. These would be infinitely better if we knocked off this piece right here to give it a direct airflow, but this is just how blasters used to be designed. In fact, the even modern day Nerf blasters, the demolisher and things that launch the rocket, don't necessarily have direct airflow. They have venting, which breaks it up and makes it far less efficient. Alright, there we go, and final shot with the Mega Missile. We'll do angled. Hopefully we can break that 25-foot point. Oh, way better. That would have gone 30 feet if it hadn't hit the fence. So that's kind of a vintage look at, vintage quote-unquote, but I'll look at a blaster from the past. This is the Air Blasters Mega Missile by Busby Toys, and it's cool. It's like one of the smallest blasters for taking out special infected at HVZ that I've ever seen anybody use. And that's because sometimes the demolisher missiles have special abilities in-game, and this is by far like one of my favorite ways to do that. Now, there's also like some other good options that we'll talk about later. Maybe someday I'll make a video about like the spy rocket launcher blaster, which is pretty good. And then there are a few other really cool things. But the Mega Missile is a very compact version of an air blaster by Busby, and Busby traditionally does air blasters pretty well. With light modifications, this thing could be a monster. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to see me modify this blaster to do anything, let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see done with this, because this could be a fun one to do like a quick mod guide on, for sure. It's very simple, very easy to work with, and has a lot of potential, I think.